There's a quiet pressure a lot of men live with, and you don't always say it out loud. But this pressure, it's always there. I need to prove myself. Prove you're good enough. Prove you're valuable. Prove you belong. Prove you're not a failure. So you work harder. You say yes when you shouldn't. You take on more than you can carry. And even when you succeed, it still doesn't feel like it's enough. Because the target, it keeps moving. And eventually you're just tired, not physically, but it goes deep down. You're exhausted from trying to earn something you were never meant to earn. Now, most men, they don't realize this, but proving yourself is not strength. It's insecurity dressed up as responsibility. It might look like discipline, sound like ambition, but underneath it is fear. The fear that if you stop performing, people will see you differently, or worse, they'll leave. So you stay in motion, you stay useful, you stay productive, you stay needed, because as long as you're producing, you feel safe. But here's the problem. You built a life where your value is tied to your output, and that's a trap, because no man can produce enough to finally feel enough. This doesn't come out of nowhere. Most of us learn this early. Maybe it was direct, or you were only noticed when you achieved, only affirmed when you performed, only valued when you delivered something. Maybe it was subtle. You learned that being easy, helpful, or successful kept relationships stable. So you adapted. You became the man who carries things, fixes things, provides things. But somewhere along the way, you stopped being a man who simply is and started becoming a man who must constantly prove. And that shift will wear you down over time. Because now your identity is on the line every single day. And here's what this does to a man. You lose peace because your mind never shuts off. There's always something else to do, something else to fix, something else to learn. You lose clarity because you're making decisions based on approval, not on conviction. You lose respect because people can feel it. They may benefit from you, but they don't fully trust a man who needs to prove himself. And eventually you lose yourself because you spent so long performing, you don't even know who you are without it. Now, Jesus said, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul?" Mark 8:36. You can win externally and still lose internally. You are never meant to live life that way. Your value is not something that you earn. It's something you carry. And if you're a man of faith, this matters even more. Because the gospel doesn't say, prove yourself and then you'll be accepted. It says, you are accepted, so now you can live life differently. That's a completely different foundation. And you don't work for approval, you work from identity. And those are not the same life. One is exhausting, the other is steady. So how do you actually start this change? This isn't theory, it's real life. Here are 3 shifts. Start noticing when you're performing. Pay attention to moments where you feel pressure to prove something, be it in conversations, at work, in relationships. Ask yourself, what am I trying to earn right now? Your awareness breaks the pattern. So tell the truth in small ways. Stop over explaining. Stop over committing. Stop saying yes just to maintain approval. You don't need to justify your existence. Simple honesty is enough. And do something with no audience. This is huge. This is a big deal. Do something valuable that no one sees, that you aren't going to get credit for, that you don't get recognition for. So why do that? Because it retrains your heart. You're no longer working for approval. You're learning to live from conviction. Now, if this hits you, here's your step this week. Catch one moment where you feel the need to prove yourself, and instead of performing, pause and choose something different. Maybe you say less. Maybe you say no. Maybe you don't explain. It will be uncomfortable. I know that very well. That's how you know it's working. Because you're stepping out of performance and you're stepping into truth. In the next episode, we're going to take this one step deeper, because underneath proving yourself is something even more powerful, and that's the need for approval. And if you don't deal with that, you're going to keep performing for the rest of your life.